What's up, YouTube? It's your boy. I'm back. As you read by the video, video title, I'm having some, let me get back in the frame. I'm having some breakup issues at about 12 pounds of boost is what I can tell off the gauge. I didn't data log it, just watching the gauge. So with that being said, something I want to do is I switched out coils on this car a while back, trying to diagnose an issue, and it wasn't the coil. It wasn't the coil, but I used a spare coil. So I'm gonna go back to the brand new coil that I had bought, that I initially built the car with. It's a better coil. It's an MSD coil. The coil I put up here was a Street Fire, MSD Street Fire, which is a subsidiary of theirs, but it's a cheaper brand. But it was also not new. It was used that I pulled off of a takeoff of a IROC that was on an IROC that I swapped to LS. So I kept it as a spare because it worked. But I'm going to go back to the new coil. New coil is actually, I think, 50,000 volts, and we're going to put new plugs in it. And I'm going to show you guys what plugs I'm going to put in it. A lot of people don't like running these plugs. I run them in my Mercedes AMG turbo car, and I like them. Now, that's a stock car. It's got a few bolt-ons and stuff like that. That car's around about 18 pounds of boost. But it's a lot smaller turbo. I like them in that. I noticed more crisp throttle response. So we're going to try them in the Buick. And what they are E3 spark plugs. A lot of people don't like these, and I think they don't like them because you can't gap them. I'm not sure, but when you research them, you hear horror stories, and then you hear success stories. But they are actually a performance plug, of course. Most guys know that. It is, they're actually suitable for boost. I've called a representative, and I've also Googled it. They are good for boost. I'm talking about stock applications. I'm talking about probably anything 20 or below boost PSI. They're supposed to be fine. I'm only running 15 pounds of boost on my Buick. I don't plan on running any more than that with this setup. Turbo's capable. Bottom end, I probably can, but I want it to last. So, and I'm just trial and error with this thing. I don't really need a whole lot of boost. I'm not out there racing, like, per se. Now, 15, 16 pounds of boost in this car, making some power. I can promise you that. But I don't plan on going over that, especially on pump gas. We don't have E85 readily available in my area. So and the car is flex fuel, so I can run E85 on it. But if I ever put E85 on it, I'll turn it up to 18, 20 pounds of boost. Biggest thing is getting detonation down. The motor will handle it. I know that for a fact. Even a stock bottom end can take 20 pounds of boost with these 4.3s. And if you're not familiar with my car, go back on my channel. It's an 86 Grand National, it's a real Grand National, but it does not run the 3.8 liter Buick motor. I run a turboed 4.3 in my car. But let me stop talking. You probably can't see it from here, but this is the E362s because I have Vortec heads on my 4.3, which they say direct bolt-on is worth about 35, 40 horsepower to these 4.3s. So my 4.3 was an L35 HO block, and I added Vortec heads on top of it. So with that being said, we're running Vortec plugs. This works with the V8 Vortec heads as well. So if you're running that setup, it's the same plug. And we'll get it going. All right, so let me get this thing turned around, and you guys will be seeing me put these plugs in real fast. Car's super easy to put plugs in, contrary to belief. I'll probably try to show you guys and why some people may think it's hard for me to put plugs in the car, but it's not. So hold on. All right, guys. So I've already put 3 in on the passenger side, and I'm gonna go ahead and put these 3 in, and then we're gonna pull that coil off, and I'll show you what coil that we're working with and the coil that I'm gonna put up there. That was originally bought brand new for this car, and like I said, I pulled it off because it was I was trial and error trying to resolve an issue, and I remembered I found the issue, and I had already changed the coil, so I just left it up there. I said it's a working coil. Why keep switching back and forth? But there is something that I want to do that I think will help it, and that's ground the coil. So the coil grounds through its housing, and the housing's on a bracket. Well, my bracket is attached to aluminum intake. And if anybody knows, 2 different metals don't conduct very well through it. So, steel to aluminum. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a small ground and put a ground wire on the bracket. And that will, and then I know I'm getting a good ground to the coil. Let me grab another socket because the universal doesn't work really good on this side. It's too long. It's the steering shaft. So we grab a regular socket. I can change these plugs in probably 5 minutes. I'm gonna be honest with you. I love the side tie manifolds, especially in this application. They're super duper easy to change spark plugs in. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I hate headers. And with your turbo applications, manifolds don't make much less than headers. So, alright. Then we'll get this back one, which is cylinder 6. I mean, not 6, I'm sorry. 5. So, if you didn't know, driver's side on a Chevrolet is always odd. Passenger side is always even. So if you got a V6, it's 135 and it's 246 on the other side. So when you're putting the motor up on top dead cylinder, right here would be your number 1 cylinder, which fires first. And I'm going to try to keep this car, even though it's E85 capable, it's just not feasible for me to get E85 in my area. I got to go like 45 minutes out the way to get E85. And it just doesn't make sense for me to do that, being I'm not racing the car or anything. So, I think what I'm going to go to is race concentrate. If you're not familiar with that, then you can go look it up. But you can take 93 octane and turn it into 112, and you can order it right off the line. I think that'd be more efficient for my situation because I don't run it enough. I've actually never taken this car to the track. So I don't, it's just not feasible for me to go get E85, not unless I'm gonna go to the track or whatever. And cost effective, by the time I drive that hour to go get it, I may as well just buy race fuel. Well, I can buy that at our local Advanced Auto Parts. They sell it, and 5-gallon pails. They sell it right in the window. So I don't know if you guys' Advanced Auto Parts do that, but ours does. But then I can get even more cost effective is buy the race concentrate, which is like 25 or 30 bucks, and then I can mix my own ratio. I don't have to make it 112. You can cut it back to 100 octane, 110. Depending on how strong you mix it, you add it right to 93 fuel, and boom, you're good. You can also run the VP Madditive. They sell it in Walmart. They sell it in parts stores. That does work too. That increases it by 5 points. So you can get almost 100 octane from 93. And it's a true 5 points. It's not 0.5. It's actually 5.0, if that makes any sense to you guys. So it actually moves at 5 full points. A lot of octane boosters is tenths of a thousand. It moves it. This moves it a full point, 5 points. So with that being said, you see guys, I've already got all the plugs in. So we won't need any of these tools anymore. Now we're going to pull this coil off. And I'm going to try to zoom in, guys, and let you see how it's mounted. And then we'll go from there. Alright, so we're back on this side. And I need to go get my towel. I just take regular towel and put it over my fenders. I used to use fender guards, and I found out they scratched the paint up. It's crazy. They scratched the paint up, so I didn't like them. So I use a regular towel. Works perfect. I also was cautious of what kind of clothes I got on. If I work on the car, I take my belt off. That's just what I do to keep from scratching up. But I don't know if you guys can see, but this is the coil here. And it's a Street Fire Performance coil. And it's got a bracket that's mounted right here. So I got this 8mm wrench. I can take this bracket off. And I can take the whole thing off. Just unplug the coil wire and unplug the wires going to the top of the coil, which is your positive, negative, and your tack output. They pop off just that easy. Now the wiring harness on this car is fully custom. I built it from just a flying lead is what they call it. So this is vehicle specific to this car. We'll pop that off. And now we take this 8. And then I got the ratchet wrench here. And we're just going to break that loose. And this is the only thing that this thing is, and it's right by a fuel rail. So that's why I can't put a socket on it. But, the only thing it's got to ground is through this bolt. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do. And this is aggravating, guys, so I'll probably bring you guys right back as soon as I get it off. Alright, so I got the coil off. And as you can see, it's a Street Fire MSD brand, but it was used. And when I say this coil is old, this coil is old. I bet it's got 100,000 miles on it. Pulled it off from my uncle's 89 IROC Z, and he definitely drove this car. So it worked, but who knows how wore out it is. But the coil we're gonna be putting up there, or back up here, is the brand new MSD 8226 high output that I had bought for this originally. And what we got to do is, you can see this is a factory bracket. Take this off the factory bracket, hook it to here, and these things ground through these holes, if you didn't know, these mountain holes. So what I want to do is, I'm gonna put a lead off of here, and then I'm gonna ground it either to the motor. I'm not sure exactly where I'm gonna ground it yet. I may go to the chassis, but I'm gonna add a ground to it. It can't hurt it, guys. It can only help it. So that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna get these switched over. It's not rocket science. I'll show you the wire that I'm gonna put up there, and then once I get it all up, I can find out where I want to put the wire. But with that being said, I'm gonna get these switched over on the workbench. Guys, you don't want to see that, so you take these 2 bolts out, put them through there, boom, put it on that one, and we'll get it switched out. We'll get it all plugged back up, and we'll get this thing started, see how it runs. It doesn't run bad at idle anyway, and then we'll go from there. So stay tuned. Now, one quick thing I want to touch on, guys, is with these coils, these brackets, make sure, and I just done it off camera, but make sure you grind where the bolt sits. And the reason I say that is, and I know for a fact, even the guys with the 3.8 Buicks, your ignition coil, or your TR6 that has all the features and settings, make sure you grind the mounting ports down because it will not work efficient or correctly. So make sure you grind those down. I just hit these with the grinder light, got a little bit of paint off of them. Didn't have a lot of paint on it, but the better it is, the more better ground. So I'll get this switched over, guys, and I'll be right back. All right, so I got the coil back mounted, and I ran a ground wire back here. I really don't like that it's showing up yellow, so we may hit that with some spray paint. But, so we got it grounded. We got the plugs in. And now we're going to hit the key and see how it runs. All right, so moment of truth, guys. I mean, it should run, honestly. But we're going to see how it idles. Oh, my God. What's going on there? It's backfiring. All right, we're gonna cut that off. Okay. So, not sure what's going on there. Make sure I don't have a wire crossed, and we'll come right back. Maybe I accidentally crossed the wire or something. We'll check. All right, guys. So, as you heard, it was backfiring. But I knew pretty much what I did wrong. But I'm being transparent with you guys. I make mistakes too. It's just fact and knowing what you made mistakes with. I had 4 and 6 flip-flop. And they're hard to tell once you pull them off. Usually I do it one by one. But all I'm going to do is, as you can see up here, I've got them numbered with the little sleeves. I'm going to do that's down bottom just for GP. But I got it all back going. And we're going to hit the key, see what we got. And then we're going to catch this radio before we get copyrighted, even though I don't get paid for these videos for y'all. All right. So she's idling good. She's sounding pretty good. It may sound a tad bit smoother, but I really can't tell. The car idled good anyway. But we'll get it taken down the road. We'll see if we got our misfire taken out or break up. Let's see here. So, 10-4, guys. We're out.